Hello everyone and welcome again. And tonight we're doing what I mentioned would bring out the 71 Barola. And we want the good news or the bad news, okay? We'll give you the bad news first. Here's the decanter. Here's the wine. It's a 71, which is 49 years old. And it's a Reserva, Calessandro Barola. Now, no vinegar smell, but bloom off the rose, wine's brown, probably be good in the pasta sauce now. Wine, I would have been stunned if it was good, a 71 even. But it's brown, not a negative taste, but nothing, just the wine's, it's off, it's shot. Now, the good news is, this wine you're gonna like. Okay, this is an Allegrini. An Allegrini we spoke about last 2 weeks ago. This is from the town of Verona, which was where Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet from the balcony was. Okay, the town of Verona. Medieval town, rolling country hills just below the Alps, and northern Italy. You have the Adriatic Sea, and then you have Lake Grande, which gives it the ocean breezes, the clay soil, which is good. This wine is not a DOC wine because they wanted to do it their way, but it's like Antinori. Antinori's wines aren't DOC because he does different varieties. These are made with two different, the Corona grape, but there's two different, okay? They use the Corvina grape. There's two different varieties of them. They use 70%, and then they use 5% Sangiovese, and then Rondella. Rondella they use 25%. Okay, so this wine is like, it's pretty much, this wine was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was in the top 100 wines in the world. Okay, it broke through. It sells for about, in this, sells for about under $20. You can get it from 18, 19, 17, 18, 19. You'll see it sometimes 23, but you can buy it at that price. James Suckling gave it a 92, 93, which is, could be a little, remember I said they usually don't deviate much? Wine Enthusiast gave it a 90 or 91. Robert Parker gave it a 90. James Suckling. So you don't really see that standard deviation, but they're all 90 or better, which is a good thing. It wasn't like one of them gave him an 87. They're all above 90 or above, but James Suckling gave him the highest, okay? And this wine was Giovanni Allegri. It was his winery, and he passed, and his daughter and son run it, who were in their probably 70s today. They both run it, Marcella and Franco. And she took over most of the marketing. And this wine is probably, this came in the mid-90s. This is not that old of a wine. Okay, in the 2000s when they did this with the different grape and the blending. Now this is an interesting grape because this grape comes from, first of all, the 2015 season, okay, was very good. They only had a couple days of rain at harvest time so they could pick straight through. They only had to irrigate the property twice, and that's how technical they are. If it gets dry, they're tasting the grapes, okay, we need rain. They do 2 emergency irrigations for the whole season. It was good sun right to the very end, great weather right to picking and harvest. And then they pick these grapes. 75% of the grapes they pick, they devine them, right? And then they press them. And they press them, and 75% goes into regular fermentation. Well, not regular, but here's how fine-tuned it is. They take the 75%, they'll put them in a controlled fermentation. It will be roughly 72 to 81 degrees, right? And then for 10 days. And then for 15 days, they put it 42 to 70 at different aspects and different times on both the grapes. And then they take the other grape, the 25% of the grapes, and they dry them. You know, like they use drying racks in a well-ventilated place, and they pick these grapes in late September, all the grapes, and they pick the other grapes, the 25%, in December, and then dry them, and then they put them. Then they put them in oak barrels. They put them in the fermentation. They put them in oak barrels for 18 months, and then they put them together, and then they blend them. After that, you know, for 3 months, and then after that, they bottle it for 6 months. So when you talk about technical, I mean, they work it to the last iota. I mean, it's unbelievable. Oh, and going back to this, I'm just looking at this in my corner of my eye here. See, that's brown. Now, when we pour this wine, you'll see. Now, when I say a wine's tired before, you know, you got to be worried. See how red that is? That's red, that's brown, okay? Now that browning, if you see browning, like even in the edges, right around the edge here, when you look in the glass, because that's where it will show with the light hitting it, that's the wine you got to be worried about. Now I was worried about this since it's 71. That's why I didn't open it before. I had it in a case down, a sorted case down in the wine cellar, and it was odds and ends, and my mistake, I should have realized it's 71 Barolo. I would have popped and poured that 15 years ago, okay? Now, like I said, the 15 months in the oak, old oak, then used barrels, and then 2 months they blend the wines together in oak again. Then they bottle it for 7 months, okay? Now, this wine, and the soil's great there. They got the breezes. Now, this region's noted for, Verona is noted for this is a Valpolicella, you know, descendant, you could say. Valpolicella grapes, Valpolicella, and the Amarone. And they're two signature wines. And Valpolicella, there's two levels. It's, you know, there's a good level, and then there's the regular drinking level. This wine here is considered to be one of the better, and you can tell by the numbers. It's nice. Got structure. You know, it doesn't have much tannin. I thought it would have more tannin, because this wine, you know, this Palazzo di Torre, you can let this sit. This wine can sit for 10, 12 years, you know, and you got some, it smells like leather. It's got spice to it, you know, it's got a, let me twirl that a little bit, wake it up. Give it a wake up call here. Oh, I also got you like my Italian red, and my sister bought me this shirt. Red tablecloth. Not red tablecloth, but you know, it gives it Italian. It's not a tablecloth. It's a Peter Millar shirt. She's very proud. The box was more expensive than the shirt. No. Now this got a lot of nose. This has got spice, cinnamon, raisin, or something in it. It's got I wouldn't say earthy as much as spicy, because when it's earthy, you know, you'll know it when you smell it. Close to earthy, sometimes leather. This is a ever so slight leather, mostly spice. I wouldn't say cinnamon, but it's got almost like, not in the seeds, but it's a spice, you know. It's velvet. It's soft. Goes right off your tongue. Just right off. You know, it's round, but not rambling. You know, it's a full round. You know, you would think full body, but I'd say medium to full on this. But it's a very well structured wine. This is an excellent with a roast, steak, pasta. This is a very versatile wine. Very versatile wine. Yeah, Verona, I got to try that. I've never been up that. I got to go to Italy up top there. It's got to be beautiful, you know. gotta be nice. You know what I need with this? I'm not allowed to eat it. I gotta sneak it. Piece of Parmigiano Romano. Ace Coon Bowl, we're going to the moon. Well, that's a good one. You buy this, you'll be happy. It's got a lot working with it still though. It's structured, it's playful. It's playful but structured, you know? So, listen, sorry the 71 Barolo wasn't, maybe I might have to cook something with that, but you all have a great night. And, you know, each day we take a day, right? More than halfway through April, coming into May, right? We'll get that. You know, we got to stick together as a country, as a people, and as a world, okay? And let's, as I say, let's pray for all those that are helping us. Everybody who's out there on the front lines and everybody who's keeping this country moving and going and making our lives easier. I mean, we can get food, you know. Think about some of the worlds where they can't get food, you know. You got to think about how good you have it, you know. Just, you know, always look at the bright side. Now, I'm looking at this glass as half empty, but it's going to be half full in a minute. Listen, God bless and take care. And for the tutors tutoring the kids at home, you can remember, you can do a little bigger pour, okay? And here's to you all. Take care and good night.